What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today I've got 5 different PvP Alsa teams for you guys. So it's built around Alsa. We're going to try 5 different versions of this. Some of those were suggested by the community, so we're going to see which one of those is the best and have some fun with Alsa and PvP. And I can tell you that much, for me, she has done pretty well. Before we do that though, I've got 25 epic recruitments. We're going to do 20 summons. We're going to see if we can get Granny, because we use Granny in one team. And yeah, if we get one more copy, she's Supreme Plus. So that would be very great. Also, summons, always nice. So definitely always good to go for that. Starting off 1-8 here, that is very bad actually. But it's an OD. I mean, we take an OD. Next one, guaranteed S tier. So let's see if we can get that Granny. That would be very nice. Come on, to 8 years as well, we take it. That's a hamster. That's not our S tier. That is a Nero. That is also not our S tier. That is another hamster. One more that I will skip. That's another Nero. Okay, let's skip that. It's a Merrily. Okay, I mean, you can get 5 A tiers. I don't mind getting closer to that Paragon Merrily. I think that will be particularly cool. But no Granny for us right now, unless we have Oreo recruitments. I mean, come on, let's give it a try. I don't mind. Don't want to make it a big summoning video, but 30 summons, that is something that is always fine, and that is something we can always do. Oh, getting another S tier there. Let's see. That's a Thorin. Okay, very interesting. I'm not sure how close we are to Paragon on a Thorin, but it is a PvP hero I want, so I don't mind a random Thorin at all. Sadly, no Granny for us, so we're going to go into PvP with that Supreme Granny, which is not a big problem, I guess. So, starting off arena, no season mode, so no seasonal content activated. The first team I want to show off, we can show that off against Potato, will probably be pretty nice. It is a full burst version of the Iron team. Iron team usually use something like Damien in there. Now I put Alsa in that team. We're going to use it together with Arden. All of those together in there. So basically we got the full burst quadruple in there. I mean, we have Carolina, we have Arden, we have Alsa, we have Iron. Iron going to trigger Immobilize on the enemy team. Arden's going to entangle them. And then we have some magic death reductions from both Iron and Carolina. And of course, big damage from Alsa. The only problem I see here right now is usually that I want to swap somebody over, because that is particularly nice for Alsa. And on this map, this is not that great. The way this works, basically, usually Alsa would attack one enemy, would attack the enemies with her ult and jump to them. And the little weakness that she has, and we can watch that in this fight, is that once she attacks with her first ult, she doesn't jump back. And that often ends up with her being basically between all enemies, which is not very great and not really what you want. And you can kind of counter that a little bit by using Rainier. See, full burst, we already got a few kills. That Igor, though, going to be a bit of a problem, but 4 out of 5 down as far as I see it, so very nice. Star Shard spell is an option. Star Shard spell, very nice. On this map particularly, by the way, she already blocked the entrance. I noticed she is quite smart with that. She sometimes really uses good positions to block. Okay, we now lost most of our team to Igor. That is such a mean guy. I'm not sure Iron can do this alone. Let's speed this up, because Igor is such a pain. He has a shield still. Took the ult fairly well. And Iron is fairly tanky. Okay, we got it. Was a bit close. It's the thing with burst teams. If you don't get the kill early on, you are in a bit of a peril, but we can already see big damage there from Alsa. And on this map, in a particularly good position. So even though the enemy certainly also had some damage, the hero like Cessia just too slow to fight against a burst team like this. And this is really what makes this team interesting. We are fighting, when we fight slow enemies, we have an advantage, because Cessia doesn't really contribute to the fight other than her Mythic Plus ability. Against this burst team, she's dead before she can do anything. And some heroes are like that. Igor, sadly, not one of them. Igor particularly annoying, and I mean, we can lose some heroes to burst, but that is very nice. With this team, if you want to use it, try to get one enemy to your side with the teleport from Rainier. You can teleport Iron over, that is alright, that will work out. His ult will still trigger at the beginning of the fight, and often enough he even gets a second ult, and then you just let Temesia take the steering wheel and she will do very well for you. So that is the first team. Very good in my opinion, just struggles a bit if we don't get the early kill. So let's me set up the next team. Who are we going to fight? I think that's alright. So the next team is full on Mauler comp. Thought this would be quite interesting. There are different options that we can take for the artifact here. I now went with Confining Spell. In the season there would be some more. I think for a defensive team you can still go with Awakening or Star Shard. Star Shard and Alsa, good combination, because she just does so many ultimate skills. But yeah, this team is supposed to be pretty tanky. We have Shark here in here as well, just as a good carry with a bit of CC block in there, and we have Smokey of course to heal, to get Coco to the ult, and that is really the goal here. We're fighting a pretty tanky enemy team as well, so it will be fairly interesting to see what happens. We're going to go back to 1 speed, double speed is a bit fast, instantly getting the block there from Alsa with just a wall between us and the enemies, which is pretty helpful. Smokey heal would be very nice, and of course we hope to get to our Coco ult. Right now everything is still alive, but this team, yeah, we are a bit reliant on our ults, and yeah, that just backfired immensely because we didn't get there. Sharky is still up. We still have Antandra, which is good. I'm not sure those two can do it because our Alsa just died there, and sometimes I have to say that can happen. That can happen. I think if we had a rematch, the chances would be quite good that we win this, but sometimes you get the situation where your Alsa just get randomly one-shotted and doesn't really contribute that much to the fight. And we see it here, just was very unlucky on this team, but the time that we need to get to an ult, I would say, is a bit of a weakness. Maybe if we put a Rowan in there, oh, that could be interesting. Maybe instead of Sharky or instead of Antandra. Could work out. But for now, well, this team sadly didn't shine. Let's try the next one. This time, a Wilder comp. Can fight Potato again. Okay, and there we go. Granny in there, we have Iron in there, we have Hewen in there. A bit of sustain with Granny and Hewen. And then of course we use Iron just to get our Immobilize going. And Arden we have for the CC. So we have 4 Wilder units in there, which I think is always pretty interesting because Wilder is a very nice faction to do this. We'll later see some more combined teams, and one particularly good one, I think, or one that could be good. We have Star Shard spell here, which I'm not very sure about on this team. On this team I could see Awakening spell as well. Let's go a bit for the tank. Let's see what we can do on this. And starting off, of course, with the Iron ult, we get that on both sides. We have to fight this very annoying Igor again, which is not that great. Question remains if we can get in Hewen ult. Losing that Arden, of course, not that nice. Can we get the Hewen ult? We can, so that is very good. That will definitely help us survive a little bit, making us a bit more tanky. Back to full life on the Granny. We can get an ult there. Ooh, Thorin charging up. Thorin charging up is a problem because if that guy hits us and did a lot of damage. Okay, we didn't hit him too much, which is good. Alsa now starting to take care of the enemies. That was the initial idea, just to have the sustain core activate the abilities of Alsa a little bit with some CC, and you can see how much terrain she really creates if she gets the time for it. And the best thing is you have the Igor now there, and she's over here. Igor, of course, with a huge range, but she's so far away in so many situations. Because she has this immense range of 6. There we could just see the dodge, her activating the shield, getting the 4th kill there, and Thorin sadly still getting the kill on 2 of our heroes, on the Granny and on the Hewen there, which is one of his abilities he gains later on, that allows him to even do his ult if you kill him before he could do it completely. So this team worked surprisingly well. Of course, we had the massive heal from Temesia. We had to sustain there, and you can see the rest of the team really didn't do that much. We really didn't have to do a whole lot there. Just tank, just give our Alsa the time to do her thing, and she basically eradicated the entire enemy team. So that is also something that can work. Depends you have to sustain, you have to live a bit, and right now, the problem that I see is you have to get to your first ult. You could see the situation where we lost Arden, and then we needed Hewen to get the ult. If Hewen didn't get the ult in time, we would have lost. No question about it, we would have lost. But the sustain on so many teams depends on you getting an ultimate. And that is something that I right now don't really like. In other games I saw some passive versions where basically you getting hit triggered the defensive effect. And we right now don't really have that, which is a bit sad. So let's try the next team. We can't fight Mega Fungi. Let's attack the middle one then. Don't really check out teams. Oh, that's the one we lost against. Very interesting. Okay, let me set up the team. Okay, this time around we are going to use a Rainier again. We have Scalita in there, so it is a bit of a high-cost team. We don't have that much of a big faction buff again. We have 3 hero faction buff because we have Hypogean, Celestial, and one of the other. Doesn't matter because we have 3 different heroes here. Thorin is in there, is linked to our Alsa. We have Iron, who's going to get teleported over to the enemy side, where he will swap with Roan. And hopefully Roan will come over and he will then be attacked by Alsa, which would be the best case, and doing the first ult there. We have a bit of protection from Scalita at the beginning of the fight, and then of course Rainier will hopefully stomp some enemies. So let's see how that works out. Again, with the other team, we lost that fight. So both sides using Iron there is pretty nice. We now have the Roan on our side, which is good. We don't necessarily want this guy being on the enemy side. Still, our Alsa decided that it would be a good idea to just go into the bunch. Okay, I mean, we have, with some manual targeting, we probably could have gotten a bit better results here. But I've explained it in the past, I can't really do manual targeting and talk in a video. It is a bit difficult, but she survived, did her swift dash, jumped out of there, and is now on a 3-killing spree. Scalita going to come down in a second, and I think yeah, that is not going to end well for this guy. Granny going out, Iron is dead, and we still have enough heroes to keep her true damage active, and I think this was the Granny. She's going to get absolutely nuked by an ult from Scalita. Back to space with you. Okay, something like this is something I really like. I mean, we don't necessarily get multiple control effects on to activate the Alsa ability, but we have some nice things going. We have the Rainier swap to just get an enemy to attack with Alsa to our side. In this case, the Roan. We could have used that with some manual targeting pretty well. Iron just giving a bit of disruption and activating Alsa's stone effect. Thorin to tank and to have the link with Alsa. And then we have Scalita for some fist death buffs at the beginning, which is very nice. And again, you can see Alsa doing the major carrying here, and Scalita at the end to clean up. If we have enough heroes left on the board, she even has true damage, so that is very nice. Next team, this one's going to fail. I still want to show it because I thought the idea was kind of funny. Maybe we use this one against a weaker team or a slower team. I know this guy with this Diana is pretty annoying. So let's try it against this. Is not a whole lot weaker, but could have worked with the swap team fairly well. Against the Vala, not that nice. Okay, let's try it a little bit. It's a pretty interesting map to use with Alsa. Okay, so that's the weird team. The idea is basically, and I thought about this, Berial needs enemies that are alone on the battlefield, so that are separated from the rest of the bunch. And I thought, well, how can we do this? And I combined multiple mechanics here that allow us to separate enemies from each other. The first one is the teleport from Rainier. That of course has a synergy with Alsa because she can target that hero. And then we have Smokey for some heal. And we have Reese, and Reese is going to move around, which might mean that enemies try to target her, run in another direction. We create some terrain with Alsa, and all of that is going to be a bit like a labyrinth, I thought. That was like the initial idea. And it's also, which is quite interesting, with the Smokey together, it's a full Mauler aura. So I thought this would be quite interesting. It's most likely going to fail, because our Burial is just Mythic Plus. So yeah, bit of a problem there. And he's of course a bit of the key of this team. We will see if that even has any chance to work out. Got the Lucius over there. Our Burial is CC'd, which is not that great. could use some terrain. The Rowan coming down, that's not nice. We got some kills, and we also got some shadows, which is cool. Shadows in here. Board is filling up. Everything is becoming a bit confusing. And it's actually working out way better than I thought. That's actually pretty cool. I don't know if there's like a better option for Reese maybe, but I thought he would be pretty cool. Berial now coming down, and Alsa, I always want to say Timbesia, but it's Alsa, getting the 4th kill. We got a ton of damage there. Berial actually with some nice damage, and there's some pretty interesting features there. Let's watch that again. I thought this was quite the interesting fight. Pretty much got to point fairly quickly where we had multiple shadows on the board. There's like a Thorin shadow, with a Lucy's shadow. And our team looks pretty healthy throughout this. I mean, obviously we didn't fight an Iron Comp. I think against the Iron Comp this might look a bit different. But in this situation it really gave us the options to pick out enemies, to kill them slowly with Alsa, and even get the shadows from Berial going, which I think this is a pretty cool team. We got the terrain now in the middle, didn't close down the entire arena. But I really like this team. So this was pretty cool. And those were just some teams you can build with Alsa. You can see she's a major damage carry. The only thing you really want to take care of and you really want to avoid is her jumping into the enemies and initially dying. Because that is the first thing she will try to do. And you will have to find some way for her to not be dead after this. This is the precondition to use her in PvP effectively. But if you do that and if she survives that initial ult, and doesn't kamikaze, well then you basically have a very good damage dealer on your side. And with a range of 6, she's in a position to attack enemies across the map and deal insane damage to them. So, multiple teams you want to try, which one did you like the most? And let me know down in the comments if there's any team you want to see. Maybe we do the second part of this. And with that, I wish you a great day and we'll see us in the next one.